Looks like we're live. Hello, everyone. I'm Sarah, and welcome to Coffee and Crochet with Sarah. Now, today we're going to be doing a little crochet together. We'll talk a little more about that in just a minute. But what you need for today's crochet together is your 5mm or H hook, a little bit of leftover medium weight number 4 yarn, a needle for weaving in ends, and of course a pair of scissors. So you can grab something out of your stash. It doesn't matter. I prefer solids or a light variegated for this project, but what we're going to be doing is making this. It can be a bookmark. You can make them individual for appliques. And so we're going to be doing that today, and then I'm going to show you how you can hook them together without having to cut your yarn. So you could make, say, a headband. You could even make a skinny scarf or just make an applique or bookmark. It's just something fun to do. And if you saw my little pre-video that I posted on Instagram, I really want you to understand that I know there's a lot of stuff going on in our world, a lot of important things that are going to be happening, that happened this last week and are going to be happening in a few weeks to come. And I don't know what they are. It just seems like there's a lot of excitement in the air and a lot of things going on. A lot of things that might be hurtful to our hearts. And so what I wanted to do first of all is, of course, welcome you all to this video, but also let you know that I understand pain and anxiety. While these things were going on last week, I actually lost a couple of friends, one to cancer, one to COVID, and I didn't really know a lot of what was going on because I was concentrating on those things. And it was a rough week for a lot of people because although there are a lot of things going on, we all have a lot of things going on in our personal lives as well. And so what I want, and I know I've said this many, many times, but I want our time together. It may be 30, 40 minutes, a time that we can set aside those worries and cares and the things that weigh us down and just have a light, fun time in our crochet along today and on our video. Okay, and someone told me the other day I'm just not serious enough on my videos, and it's okay. I don't mean to be serious. I mean, yes, things are important, but I also want you to understand that it's okay if you laugh a little bit. And it's okay if you still smile. One of the things, I don't really mind wearing a mask. As a matter of fact, my doctor has me where I can't go anywhere at all unless people are wearing masks. I don't mind. It doesn't bother me a bit. I figure it's for my safety and yours. But the one thing that bothers me about it is you can't see people's smile. And I love to smile at people. I love when I see a mom, with her kids and they're just shopping or whatever, and you can smile at them and kind of wave, and older folks that you can smile at, maybe brighten their day. And that is one thing that I do miss, is the smiling. So here's a big smile for you. Is that creepy? Okay, the other thing I want you all to know is how much I appreciate you tuning in to my live videos, whether you tune in on Facebook or whether you tune in on YouTube. I completely and 100% appreciate the time that you give to me. And so I want to give you as much things as we possibly can in this short amount of time. All right, so before we get started with anything else, we have forgotten we need to clink in. And I've got me a nice Valentine cup here. So clink in. Now, if you don't know what that means, all it means is I'm here. I love seeing your posts. I love both here on Facebook and on YouTube, going back through and reading all the posts. And I see a whole bunch of you already clinking in. And it means a lot to me because, as I say many times, I can't do this without all of you. This isn't my video. This is our video and our time together. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm going to get a quick drink of my coffee in my love cup. All righty, so I'm going to clink over to my other camera. Cam is short for camera. Let me scoot over here, and this is what our crochet along is going to be today, or our crochet together. All right, so these are just some hearts, and we've made this particular heart before in the past. They're just little tiny hearts. Let me see, I can give you a measurement real quick. Look at that. Measures about 2 inches, some of them a little bit smaller, 1.5 inches, depending on the size yarn that you use. You can use any size yarn. Just make sure your crochet hook corresponds with that yarn. All right. I've got fuzz all over my counter because I'm going to be showing you a yarn in a little bit that's extremely fuzzy. All right. Now, I'm going to show you how to make the hearts, and I'm going to show you how we can connect them together without having to cut our yarn. All right, and so what I'm going to be using today is this light pink. It's a medium weight number 4, and I used this in yesterday's video. I'm just going to move these over a little bit out of the way. And it's just some yarn that I had on hand. I believe it is Hobby Lobby's I Love This Yarn. Medium weight number 4. We're going to use our H hook, which is a 5.0 millimeter crochet hook. You need a needle just to weave in those ends. I got a speck on my counter there. I'm going to cover it. And your scissors. All right, so it's super simple. We're going to start first by just making an individual heart. So we're going to start with a slip knot. We're going to chain 4. And if you hear that snoring in the background, that's Maximo. He is completely asleep, my little chihuahua. All right, now we're going to be stitching all of the stitches for the heart in the 3rd chain from the hook. And then you might ask, why did I want you to chain 4? Well, that 4th chain to me is something to hang on to. We're not going to be using it, all right? So we're going to begin first by stitching 3 triple crochets in the 3rd chain from the hook. So you're going to put 2 wraps on your hook. You're going to go in, pull up a loop. You'll have 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over, go through the first 2. Yarn over, go through the second 2. Yarn over and go through the third 2. All right, now we're going to stitch 2 more triples. And remember, we're stitching all of these stitches in the 3rd chain. Whoops, got caught in there. We're stitching all of those stitches in the 3rd chain from the hook. All right, I need 1 more triple right in that same chain. So I have my chain 3 and 3 triple stitches. Now I'm going to stitch 3 double crochets in that same chain. So 1, 2, and see how I kind of hold on to that 4th chain we're not using? I call it my chain handle. All right, so we have 3 triples, 3 doubles. We're going to chain 1, and now we're going to stitch 1 triple in this same chain. And chain 1. So now we have half of our heart completed. Now we're going to work back up this way, but we're still stitching in that same chain 3. So we're going to stitch 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and that is in my way, so I'm going to move that out of the way. There we go. And we'll stitch our 3rd double crochet. So 3 triples, 3 double crochets, chain 1, a triple, chain 1, and 3 double crochets. And now we're going to stitch 3 more triples. 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to chain 2, and we're going to join right inside that hole with a slip stitch. All right, now I'm going to chain 1 just to hold that in place. Now, you're going to end up with this hole, so we're going to turn it over. And you'll notice I didn't cut my yarn. We're still attached. And now we're just going to go around those stitches and close up that hole. And you can do this anytime you're stitching in one chain like that. You can close up that hole and it makes a nice and tidy heart. All right, so we're going to go around. Now we're going to make sure that hole is nice and closed, and it is. So we're going to tie off. So we'll just go up a few stitches. And remember, when you're stitching in to weave in, go through some of those stitches and some of those fibers, and that's going to help that stay secure. All right, we'll go ahead and clip that. All right, so there's one heart. If I was going to make it like these and just make a little applique, I would go ahead and cut this and weave this in. But I want to make it like this and make a headband or a bookmark or something where they're all connected together. So what you would do is you would just repeat what you just did. We've already chained 1, so we'll chain 3 more. And now we're going to stitch that heart just like we did this one in that 3rd chain. 1, 2, 3. So we'll begin with 3 triples. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and our triple. And it is a little bit clumsy, but it's worth the trouble. All right, there's our triple, chain 1. We're going to kind of move that heart out of the way so we can stitch on this side of that hole, that chain. All right, so here's our 3 double crochets. 1, here's 2, and 3. And now we'll stitch 3 triples. 1, get in there, 2, and 3. All right, chain 2. We're going to slip stitch in that chain 1 space, or that chain where we stitch, not chain 1 space, but chain, and we'll go ahead and chain 1. Now, you'll notice on this one, you won't have that tail of yarn to close that. And you can go back in and close it if you want to with just another piece of yarn. But I found that I don't do that. As I'm doing them, they sort of stretch out a little bit, but it's up to you. And this is the way you hook them together. All right, so if you wanted to do another one, we've chained 1, and then you'd chain 3 again. 1, 2, 3, and then you'd repeat what I just did. All right, now, one thing to remember about this is you can do this in any weight of yarn and any crochet hook. Just make sure you use the yarn, or the crochet hook, I mean, that corresponds with the thickness of the yarn. You could do this all the way up to a chunky 5 or 6 if you wanted to make some nice big hearts. All right. Another thing to remember is I know I went sort of fast, and that's what I do when I'm doing it live. And what you can do is, if you're going to watch this again on Facebook, you can pause it as needed. If you're going to watch it on YouTube, you can slow it down, and you can even slow the timing down on YouTube, okay? So I just wanted to show you a fun thing you can do with some hearts today, because we're heading towards Valentine's Day, and heart appliques are super fun. And I think this would be super fun maybe to put on the edge or line the edge of a shirt, or maybe the edge of a sleeve or sweater. I mean, there's lots of things that you can do with this. And of course, headbands. And they're super fun to make, and it's a great way to use up some of your leftover yarns. Now, I use solids just because it's easier to see on camera, but you could use even your variegateds. This one is leftover Mandela that's a variegated. It's got some pink and purples, and I used it also yesterday, or maybe it was a couple days ago, for some of the heart coasters. All right. Now, another thing I wanted to tell you about is I was sitting there last night and I copied off a picture and I was coloring. Sometimes this is something that helps me when I'm watching TV, or I'm just sitting doing something, listening, doing something else, maybe listening to a video and I just want to hear it, not see it. I have to keep my hands busy. And so I copied off this picture and I colored it with my granddaughter's markers. It was super fun. Okay, and so I thought, well, I really enjoyed this. Maybe you would too. And this is what it looks like, just in black and white. I put it on the blog. It's also on the first picture on the Posh Pooch Designs page. Just copy, paste, and print and color. If you don't have a printer and you want to do something like this, you can go to your local library and they'll let you do it there. They'll let you copy it off there as well. I think it's like 50 cents or something a copy. Depends. It's been a while since I've been to the library. Well, not since I've been to the library, but since I've had to copy something off. But it is something just to keep your mind busy. And that's, another thing about, all the things that are going on right now. I always say this: stay informed, know what's going on, keep up to date on things in the world, but don't sit there and watch every single news station or every single bulletin or whatever it's called, news flash that comes up. Give your mind and your heart a break. Do something else, work a puzzle, go for a walk. These are things that I do to regenerate my mind. And that's where crochet is very important, because to me, crochet is therapy. I call it that all the time. A place for us to just escape for a few minutes and just concentrate on something else. And especially if you're making something for somebody else, you can think about that person and the colors that you choose. Find something in their favorite colors or things like that. All right. Now I want to show you this yarn. And I was talking about all the fuzz on my workspace. And that's because this yarn is super duper fuzzy. All right, so my daughter-in-law told me that a neighbor lady gave her some yarn because Zoe, my granddaughter, was learning about yarns and weaving and that in school with her work. And so they gave her this yarn. And when they were carrying it back to the house, she dropped it in the grass. And so you might see a few flecks of grass in it. I tried to get it out, but it's one of those things. Okay, this is the yarn. Does this yarn make my head look big? I had to say that. All right, this yarn is called a bulky 7. To me, it's like a bulky 100. I mean, it's huge. And I always called this stuff roving, but people have started crocheting with it. Okay, it's by Loops and Threads. You can see the name is called Free Spirit Ombre. 7.5, wait, I wanted to go here. 40.5 yards and 26.3 ounces. It's extremely heavy. Okay, and it does say that it's a jumbo 7, but I'm telling you, it is thick stuff. Well, she gave me 3 of these. And so I thought, I'm going to look this up because I've seen it in the stores, but I've not really tried it or checked it out because I heard really bad reviews about using roving to make a blanket. And unfortunately, this one also has some good reviews and some bad reviews, which probably most yarns do, because everybody has preferences. And so what I am going to do, it calls for a 25 millimeter crochet hook. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach my granddaughter how to finger crochet with this. I think this would be a great project. I have 3 of them, and that might be enough to make her a little blanket to go on her bed. And so that's what I'm going to do with this, and I'm going to keep you posted. And the reason I wanted to show it to you today, because it's really cool, it's really beautiful. It's got grays, purples, and pinks, and they're all kind of mottled, and it reminded me of my shirt. So, anywho, I am going to teach my granddaughter, she is 8, how to finger crochet. And I'm thinking of doing a video as well. But I don't know if you're interested in that because, you know, not everyone is going to get a hold of this yarn. And so if you're interested or you know something, or you maybe you've used this, I'm really curious about your thoughts on that. And I'll probably go ahead and do a video anyway, just for those who would like to try it. But I'm just interested in your thoughts. Like I said, the reviews on this were mixed. Some of them were terrible and some of them were wonderful. So it just depends on what you're going to make. All right, so this one is Loops and Threads, Free Spirit Ombre. It's a bulky or jumbo number 7. And you can see the washing instructions. No ironing, hand wash, no drying, laid flat to dry. So it's going to be difficult to take care of a blanket made out of this yarn. But we're going to see what we can do with it, okay? It is really pretty. You can see those beautiful colors. So, does this yarn make my head look big? All right, I'm going to toss this on the floor because, believe it or not, 26 ounces in one hand is a little bit heavy. I'll get back to you on it, and I really would love your opinions on that yarn. If you have tried it or you know someone who has, and what your thoughts and ideas are about it. All right, I'm going to sling this down real quick, see if we've got any questions. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. I don't really see any questions. Amanda says, I have some like that, but heard it doesn't hold up well. And that is the thing that I'm worried about. She's an 8-year-old child, and if she throws it on her bed and pulls it around, I mean, just messing with it with my hand, it like almost not disintegrates, but undoes, you know? So we'll have to see. I'm going to go ahead and try to do some finger crocheting and teach her how to do it. And I think that'd be a lot of fun. All right, so the other thing I wanted to talk to you about is what's new. Well, yesterday we made these fun doilies, and I had so much fun designing these. And of course, I made the traditional red and white, and then we did the video with the lavender and pink. Super pretty. And I love these because you can put a candle, a vase with a rose in it. And hearts are not just for Valentine's Day. These would be great for a wedding, anniversary. I mean, super fun, and they're super duper easy. I mean, I think it's 7 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 rows around. And so these are just made with your medium weight number 4 acrylic yarns, but you can use cotton as well, or any blend of yarn that's a medium weight number 4. All right, so we did that. I call that the little Valentine doily. And then the other thing that we did this week is, I'm going to scoot over a little so you can see these. Oh, what am I saying? I put these on the other camera. This is our Scooty, the hooded scarf with a pocket. And this is one of my number 1 patterns that are on All Free Crochet. And again, it made the 100 list this year, so I was very excited about that. And what we did is we decided to update the pattern and add an extra size. Before we had a youth and adult, and we added a child size. Now these have hoods, they have a scarf, and you can see there that they have a pocket. A scooty or scooty is combining the word scarf and hoodie together. And so we did it in 2 different videos. And what we were trying to do, because if I would have done it all in, did the filming all in one video, it'd be about an hour and a half, because I had to crochet the whole thing again. And so what we did is we did the hood portion first. And for step 1, and then for step 2, we did the scarf portions, and then I showed you how to make the pockets. And like I said, again, I had to crochet the whole scarf again and the whole hood again. A lot of times when I do my videos, I have them partially done, especially if it's a whole bunch of repeat rows or circles or rounds. I'll go ahead and have a whole lot of that done so that you can see the progress as it goes. Well, with this particular pattern, I was unable to do that because of the way you add the scarf. All right. And so we decided to do it in 2 videos. It turned out perfect. And I wanted to get it done. It's been on my list for like 2 years to have the original video was not a tutorial. I did the video when I was first starting in order to answer some questions about the Scooty that people were having. Um, I lost my train of thought because I looked at a question. Anyway, the original Scooty pattern video only had the 2 sizes, and it wasn't a tutorial. It was just something I did to answer some questions about the video. Well, I've been wanting to update the video, and I got the videos all done. We updated the pattern, and what we did is we made a whole new blog with a whole bunch of pictures, step-by-step pictures, and then we put them all together. It's got 3 sizes. It's got the adult, the youth, and the child. And keep in mind, this is, you can see the one that, the blue one is the medium. The one that's on him is the large. And so you can see they're big, roomy hoodies. And so I thought, well, it wouldn't be too hard. So I measured my granddaughter's head. Unfortunately, her head is bigger than mine, and she's 8. So the child one is roomy as well. But I have on the pattern all the measurements and all of that stuff on there. But like I always say, measure as you go. If you're making this hood and you put it on your child and it looks too small, make it bigger. If it looks too big, make it smaller. And you can adjust that by the rows and things. And that's all on the pattern. I added a whole bunch of new information on the pattern. Now, if you purchase this pattern on Ravelry, because I do sell my PDFs on Ravelry, I sent out an update to 485 people that purchased it in the last 2 years. So make sure you check that to see that you got the updated version with all the extra stuff in it. And so that's kind of one of the goals I have for 2021 is to try to get a lot of those older patterns updated, add extra information, and a video or 2. I do have some other fun things coming that I'm very excited about. I have a couple more Valentine things coming, and Kimberly says, they say your head is bigger than your body till your age is 10. Well, she has always had a large head. You're talking about my granddaughter, but I think it's because she's really smart. I've always had a smallish head, like the size of my head. My face is longer, but I have like around my head here is smallish. And a lot of times I'll say, well, if it's 22-inch head, oh, I mean, you know, because you have a bigger head, you're going to have to do the next size up or next size down. Because I have a small head. I also have small feet. I wear children's shoes. I go in the children's department and get a 4.5, 5 in children's shoes, and they always fit. And they have cuter shoes than adults do sometimes, okay? I like sparkly ballerina shoes. Unfortunately, I haven't worn them in a long time, so I haven't got to go too many places. Although, I was very excited about something. You know, I had my 39th wedding anniversary. And every year we go to Saltgrass, and I get the salmon steak. I love it. That nobody makes it like them. It's the best. Well, the restaurants have been closed down here for a little while, of course. And they changed the color. I don't know what the color from. It might be to orange to yellow or something like that. And the restaurants, once they pass the inspection, are allowed to have 25% capacity. So my husband called Saltgrass and asked about reservations. And they said, we'll get back to you. Give us your phone number. And this was on Monday. I think our anniversary was on Thursday. And so he got a phone call and they said, we're going to open on Thursday and you can make your reservation. And we're old people. We went at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And it was so nice. They treated us wonderful. The steaks were great. I had, you know, like I said, the salmon steak. My husband always, I got a ribeye or something. But it was the first time I had gone out and been in an actual restaurant since June. It was the wonderful experience. I dressed all up. I wore a sparkly shirt, my sparkly earrings. It was a lot of fun. And I hope that it'll continue to trend that way, that we'll be able to get, more and more restaurants open. So, anyway, I know that's a lot of stuff. And I do want to remind you about our January mystery give along. Don't forget 15 skeins of mystery yarn plus one of my Coffee and Crochet with Sara bags. Now, the bag that they're getting this month is a canvas bag, and it's a little bit smaller. And then there's also a surprise in there for me. And I went to the post office and picked up a large box, and I crammed all of that yarn in that box. Whoever wins it, when you open it, it's going to be a yarn explosion. I wanted to get it all in that one box, and I wanted to keep it, combined. So, next Tuesday, we'll be announcing the winner of the January mystery giveaway, and I'm really excited about it. There's a lot of really cool yarns in there. I know, I always get excited about giveaways. So, my voice is getting tired. I guess I'm talking too much. And I'm going to let you go. But as I do, I just want you to remember that my word of the year is peace. And peace isn't the absence of noise or the absence of friction. Peace is being able to just calm yourself and relax and maybe step outside of that world for a while. And that's, like I said, what I want our time together to be. Just crochet friends getting together with a cup of coffee or whatever that you enjoy drinking and just spending time together. And I feel like that's what we did today. You all have lifted my spirits the same way that I have tried to lift yours. And so I'm going to let you go on that. I'm looking to see if there's any more questions real quick, and I don't see any. Never thought of a yarn explosion, huh? Maybe we could call it a yarn bomb. Oh no, there's already those. Those are when you put stuff outside, which is lots and lots of fun. My downtown Parker does that sometimes. All right, so again, I'm going to let you go. Thank you, thank you, thank you for watching my videos and being a part of Posh Pooch Designs. And again, I can't do it without all of you. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye now.